And we're live. It's a good thing, too, because otherwise, we'd be dead, which would not be a good thing. Anyway, I hope everybody had a good week so far. I've been busy myself, but before we get into things, let's say hi to everybody. And who got the cookie? Looks like Hot Dog Pilot Andy, you got the cookie. Congrats. Enjoy that cookie. And John Nippenberg, he got the half cookie. Good for you guys. At least you won't go hungry tonight. Glad to have both of you here. And who else do we have in here? Let's see here. Let me scroll down a bit. The Gigliotis. Ray, how you doing? I got some stuff for you to see in a little while. Good to see you here. Tom Grassi. Tom, good to see you. He's lurking. Nothing wrong with that. GRE 2057, Jesse. Good to see you here. Colorado Spikeman 94. Thomas, how's it going? Chuck Schreiber. Hey, Chuck, good to see you. And who else we got here? Derek Alexander. Hey, Derek, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. Stormy Sky Rail Productions. Steve, how's it going, Steve? Good to see you. And I believe that's everybody so far. So, I've been kind of a little bit busy this past week. Getting some stuff done, or trying to. There's so much to do, and I've only got two hands, and and they've been pretty busy. So, anyway, see, first things first. I've been working on my, let me change cameras here. If I remember which one it is. Ah, there we go. I've been working on my drop-down arm. I got one track's almost done now. I got the other one that's glued down, wait for it to dry. There's a lot involved with doing this stuff, and I still got to wire it up and all. And on the back side, like way back there, up back there, I've got to put in 2 small pieces of track. I got one that's laying there, and the other one's cut. I just got to put it in. And like I said, once I get it wired up, we'll be good to go. So hopefully I'll have that done probably sometime early next week. Hopefully Monday, maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Derek says, Big Jim, that printer is hauling ass. They put you up on the board there. Oh, not on that one, though. There we go. All right. Yes, it is. that A1 Bamboo Labs, man, that thing kicks ass, man. It does. I'm doing actually a little over 1 hour drawer that I'm printing. And if I had to do that on the Viper, it'd be a 3-hour job easily. That thing just boom, 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 bam, bam, you know. Pretty good. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate that. So, yeah, that's the second thing we can talk about. That's the last drawer that's printing for this here. It's parts drawers. They got little dividers in them. Whoa, fall out here. Got different things for different parts. Drawers slide in and out pretty easily. It's a good thing. Yeah, I've got lots of screws and electronics and stuff. I'll probably print a couple of these and stack them somewhere, you know. I'm doing the last drawer now. I was printing 2 at a time, but I had one kind of screwed up, so I just had to do a single now to wrap it up. But I love this printer. It does a great job. I don't know why I didn't buy one a long time ago. Tom Grassi sent me a YouTube video on how to do maintenance on it. So I had to buy a bunch of things. I ordered a bunch of stuff, brushes and foam swabs and oil and a roll of non-toilet paper. $40 worth of shit, but you really got to take care of these machines to keep them running tip-top, so I figure I'll just go ahead and do that. Hey, Dwight, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. And, let's see. Hot Dog Pie with Andy, did you just now get here again? You got the cookie, you know, so congrats on that. So yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been doing a little bit of printing here and there. I had to print a few things for the printer. I got a little parts toolbox on the right there. And on the left side, I've got the poop basket. I'd rather call it the shit basket because, you know, poop sounds so immature. So I printed those 2 things up, and of course I printed a scraper knife for it too, so we're good to go at least on that stuff. Hey Anthony, Georgia Sunbelt, how you doing, Anthony? Good to see you here. Made it home early today, cool. You guys are popping in here quicker than I could see you almost. Alright, that's everybody so far. So what I'm really working on here, and this will be more for Ray Gigliotti. I know you're excited to see this. This is the device you're looking for. I hope I did a good job on it. I'm going to send you the STL files probably either later tonight or tomorrow. This is 3 pieces, so you've got, it's a little tight. I mean, it's supposed to be. You've got the top insert, and you got this part here which slides in. You can glue this part in. And this actually, I did not design this. This was from the first file you sent me. And I figured this is a good part. So I went ahead and replicated it. And I actually adapted the outer insert, or outer ring. So it slides right in there. This slides on the top. It should be about right for your controller knob. I kind of wish I had the controller here in my hands. I could make sure it was absolutely perfect, but I'm going to have you print this up and see how it works. If there's a problem, let me know. We can make adjustments. Otherwise, judging by, I basically based all this off the picture of the broken pieces picture you sent me. So hopefully this will work. And if it does, I plan on marketing them. So we'll see. Kilroy, how you doing, Kilroy? You newbie here, huh? Good to see you. And Ray Bertelson, hey Ray, good to see you here too. So that took me about 3 days to design that. He said I had to do various iterations of it to get it right. And like I said, without actually having the PlayStation 2 controller in my hands, a lot of guesswork there, but hopefully it should be correct. You don't count being outside on a rainy night. Yes, sir, a newbie. There we go. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Kilroy. I hope you enjoy your stay. So yeah, that was the big project I was working on, which unfortunately kept me from working out here too much, but I wanted to get it done. I originally told him it would take, a week or two. And he says, you know what, screw that. Let me just go in there, balls to the wall, and get it finished. So hopefully it works out fine for you, Ray. I hope it does anyway. So let's see what else we got going on. I haven't really done much of anything else. Since I've been working on this drop arm. It's been kind of a pain in the ass because, anytime you do something for the first time, it always is. And this is a vastly different idea from what I'm accustomed to. But I think it's going to work. I hope so anyway. So let's see what else we got going on. Well, I did actually assemble, I think I've done so far 6 box cars. We got Katy couplers on them, printed trucks, and I converted all, because all these were truck mounted couplers. We got rid of those. So I put the draft gear boxes on the bodies and printed up new trucks for them on the A1. They said they come out really nice. I mean, you look at them, they look almost as God painted them already, but they look just as good as the real ones. So, like I said, I've got a bunch of these that are ready to go. I've got already some of them up on the layout already. I still got a few more to do. I've got 3 more box cars. Actually 4, but I've got to drill out the centers for the screws for the trucks. So I'm going to have to do it on the drill press in the garage, because trying to do it with a hand drill just isn't getting it. Yeah, put it back where you got it, then. Say hi to everybody.
Hi. Nice and hot down here.
I got the air on. It's not hot in here. Oh, it's hot out there? Yeah, it probably is. It's like 80 degrees outside. So. Did you see the new thing that Creality came out with? You can make your own filament. Really? No, I did not see that. I'll have to check that out. Of course, I just bought 4 rolls of filament from Sunlu, and they're classified as refills, but they came with the spools. But the spools, they come apart, so you can actually put refills in them. But I got 4 reels for $47. 4 spools, 1 kilogram each, which was a hell of a deal. Because prior to that, I bought 5 for $70 on eBay. I got the 4 on Amazon for $47, free shipping. Next time I'll buy just the refills without the spools, because now I've got a bunch of spools. When I ran out, because I've been buying some loop, I've been throwing the spools away, thinking that, what are you going to do with them? I didn't realize they actually come apart. Matter of fact, let me grab one here. I should have figured that there was something up with it because they're plastic, you know. All you do is twist them and they come apart. You load your refill in here, put it back together, twist the locket, and you're ready to rock and roll. You learn something new every day, you know. So, like I said, I'll have a total of 4 of them when I run out of these 4 spools. So now I'll save the spools and just buy refills. The Sunlu works well in the Bamboo A1, so I'll just stick with it. Jesse says, make sure you buy everything you buy on Amazon is UL listed. If it's not UL listed, big fire. Well, I don't really buy anything electrical from them. I mean, not like appliances or anything. Excuse me. And of course, I will always make sure the UL listed, and generally energy efficient as well. That's good to know, though. So everybody hopefully pays attention to that. Don't buy things and next thing you know, your house is on fire. That's not good. Snowed here this afternoon, Anthony says. Lucky you. Derek says we're in the 30s with snow and rain. It's fucking 80 degrees outside here. Now we're supposed to get rain Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Like torrential downpours, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, if that happens, I'm going to have to mow the lawn. It's like so far it's been like 4 months since I've mowed the lawn. It's simply not growing. But we haven't really gotten any rain either. So let's see what else we got here. Yes, the refills are cheaper. I don't know how much, but 4 spools for $47. That's what, about $11 a spool? No, that's a little more than that. It's about $13 a spool. I think you can get the refills for $11 without the spool, for a kilogram. So that would definitely be the way to do it. Like I said, it just seems smarter to do that. I mean, I've always figured, you spend all this money on the spool itself, you're paying for it. Now, I don't know when they started doing the refills. I didn't know anything about it until Tom Grassi said something. He goes, yeah, I'm using refills on my refills. Like news to me, But it really makes a big difference on the cost. Now, I haven't done anything really small yet on the Bamboo A1. I did buy a 0.2 millimeter nozzle for it. Actually, a hot end assembly. So if I might actually try and do, maybe even try and do people. I don't know if it'll do it or not. But I know you could do some other small things. Like Tom Grassi if you've seen his his video, the short I believe it was. He printed little benches for his um, roundhouse, and the benches got tools on them, and I mean it looks beautiful. I thought he resin printed them at first. He said no, I printed it on the A1 Mini. Did you use a 0.2 millimeter head? And he said no, I used the 4. Holy shit. So I can't wait to really try it too and see what I can do with it, you know. We'll see how that rolls out. Derek says, a guy I know heard a pop in the kitchen and went in to find his wire to the refrigerator burning. Open flame, nice. 16 gauge Chinese wire. Hey, Dundas Junction, Malwaro. James, how you doing? Good to see you here. Well, you got to be careful anything you buy from China anyway, you know. Let's see, do I miss anything else here? James said he posted 2 shorts tonight. All right, we'll have to check them out. You can put the links to them if you want, just in case somebody doesn't get them in their feed. Yeah, well, I was just reading that. What was it? 60,000 Volvos. I guess they're EVs. The batteries are from China, and so far 4 of them are burnt to the ground. So they're telling people not to put the cars in their garage or near their houses, park them out in the street in case they catch fire. What the hell's wrong with people these days, you know? The whole idea of an electric car is just getting to be worse and worse. My buffering? That's not good. Anybody else seeing any buffering? Because I'm showing actually not that great of a signal here. I wonder why. Huh. I just jumped up in the green. Hope we're not going to have problems with this. That would suck. Check my speeds. Oh, download speed is pretty good. The upload's pretty good too. I don't know what happened there. Huh. Must have been a glitch. Oh, now I'm in the red. That's not good. What the hell's going on there? That's not supposed to happen. Now I'm back in the green. Yeah, we're still on Starlink, so I don't know what's going on there. That's kind of weird. Some interruption there. I don't know what's going on. It's almost acting like it's on Comcast, but it's not on Comcast. I'm back in the red again. What the hell? I wonder if the problem is. I wonder if it might be all on OBS. I don't know. No buffering there, it says Ray. Okay, that's good. Steve said hello in the beginning, but no issues now on our end. Okay, that's good. Yeah, who puts their car in the garage? Is that a thing? Hey, I put my car in the garage, man. But it ain't an EV. John says all clear here. Tom Grass says no buffering here. Andy says no buffering. Okay, that might have been on your end then, James. It's kind of weird though that I'm getting. Yeah, I can see on my monitor here that I'm not getting a smooth. I don't know what's going on with that. Not raining out or anything, so I don't know. It might be OBS. I might have to do something different here with OBS. Yeah, see, now it's back in the red again. I don't know why that is. Very weird. Derek said yes, but I didn't want to say anything since you switched to Tesla Starlink. Chuck said, Jim, if I dip into a 3D printer, that A1 might be a contender using a 2mm nozzle, especially me doing N scale. Oh, like I said, John Tanzillo. He did a short, I guess. I don't know. Well, Tom Grassi showed me the video, but he was printing an N-scale pickup truck on his A1. He was using a .4 millimeter nozzle, the stock one, I think. And it came out really nice. I was surprised. So, you know, I mean, if it does come out that good, then, you know, I probably won't need to use the resin printer that much anymore, which wouldn't bother me in the least. I still prefer filament over resin. Anthony says, it's a wrinkle in time, space continuum. There we go. Anyway, says, I wedged my car in there. You should see it right now, I'll bet. Well, I mean, I've got a two-car garage, and all I can fit is my car in there because I've got my riding mower on one side. I've got benches and the toolbox on the other side. My meat freezer's on the same side as the benches. And then I park my scooter in on the right-hand side behind the riding mower. That pretty much takes up... The garages today, they're smaller, you know. My dad built a two-car garage back, you know, in the 60s up north of New Jersey where we came from. And by today's standards, it'd be a four-car garage. First off, you could park a limo in it because it was like 30 foot deep. And each bay was wide enough to swing both doors open and not hit the car next to it, you know, which is the way you should build a garage. You so-called two-car garages now are a joke. Dwight says, do I lag or buff on any of my streams? No, not that I've seen. Like I said, it might be an issue with OBS. I think I'm going to go backwards and maybe go to an older version. It's gotten two updates in the last month or so, and I seem to be having a lot of problems with that. So, like I said, I would use the, which reminds me, I got to cancel that. I would use StreamYard, but I can't afford the price. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, they're really, you know, unless I want to spend crazy money, there's not much else out there. You know, Tom Kavicek from Tom's Trades and Things, he uses, I can't remember the name of it now, but it's nice. But like the smaller program that they offer is around $400. That's more than I want to pay. No, I don't record when I do my live streams, because I know that would take up a lot of bandwidth. Actually, my modem's right behind me, right there. Modem and router, actually. Well, the modem's behind it, the router is right behind me, so I'm getting a good signal. Like I said, I don't know what's going on out there. There might, I don't have to look into. I think it's OBS, to be honest with you. Because like I said, I did a speed check and the speed was good. So I don't understand the problem. Let me do this other one for a speed check. Like I said, I find it hard to believe. Oh yeah, that's good, man. 242 down. And the upload's a little slow, but still not bad. It's showing 12 up, which it should be about 30. Like I said, I have a feeling it's more than likely OBS. I just have a sneaking suspicion that that's what it is. I'll have to wait and see. I'll have to look into it. I said I locked up, didn't I? I froze up. I'm showing froze. I'm in the red right now. I'm back in the yellow. Alright, I'm moving again. Yeah, I think it might be taking up too much something or another. Don't know. Darren Hamill, how you doing? Good to see you here today, man. John says, my brother has a 2-car garage and parks on the street. Well, you know, my neighbor's got a 2-car garage and he can't get his vehicles in there because he's got like a woodworking shop in there. I said, dude, you know, why would you leave your cars in the driveway to get beat up with the sun and the rain and everything else when you got a perfectly good garage, you know? I don't ever park my cars in the garage, you know, that's on you, I guess. This is only second place I've ever lived in that had a garage. And there's no way that I wouldn't put my car in the garage. That's what it's there for. You know, Dwight, I wonder, that could be a possibility. I don't know. I mean, you never know. Put that up there. I can't put it up there because I got to reboot this thing here. Let me reset that. Well, I had it last week. I had it down on the floor because that's where the tech put it because he didn't know where else to do with it. I put it up on the shelf because I get a better signal in the house on my main computer. I was thinking of maybe putting it up on top of the shelf up there. And maybe it would be better off there. Or I could put it over here on this side and it would be away from the printer. Because that is a Wi-Fi printer, and yes, it is connected to Wi-Fi. Could it be actually interfering with the modem? It's possible. We'll find out because that should be just about done. And when it finishes, I won't have anything else to print tonight, so I'll shut it down and we'll see if it makes a difference. And Derek says, Big Jim, didn't they tell you that Starlink only works below 70 degrees? Kidding, you would be screwed in Florida. Yeah, it would. Yeah, that's actually, I think it's good even in sub-zero weather because it's got a built-in heater in it that will melt the ice and snow. I think it's only good for temperatures up like maybe 120 or something like that. But it doesn't ever get that hot down there, not yet anyway. If it does, they'll be out there throwing water on it, right? I don't know. It's always something. Yeah, back in the yellow again. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, if this, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with the dish itself. So it's got to be something else. Thomas says, Jim, the A1 is not going to interfere with your internet services. The printer does not broadcast any signals that would do that. Yeah, but it is Wi-Fi, though. I mean, it has to send and receive in order to communicate with the computer. So, it's still possible. It doesn't seem likely, but you never know. Dwight said he had to use a heater on his Starlink before. Yeah, imagine you got snow up there. We haven't had any snow here yet. But, you know, who the hell knows? Anything could happen. I mean, and there's supposedly a polar vortex coming into the south next week. We could see cooler weather, but, you know. Yeah, I'm going to do that anyway, Dwight, just to be on the safe side. Because I'm getting a lot of, it's fluctuating a lot and it shouldn't be. It just seems odd because, like I said, last time it worked fine. And, you know, the router and modem, and it might not be the modem, it might be the router. Because the router is just throwing out your Wi-Fi. And I'm eventually going to run an Ethernet cable from the router directly into the computer and not use the Wi-Fi. I'll get a little faster speeds that way and won't have to worry about any kind of interruption. So if I have to buy a cable, I don't have one. Tom said then your phone would interfere with it too. No, Wi-Fi device does not interfere with the internet service. Well, the phone is Bluetooth more than it is Wi-Fi, so I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. They said only one way to find out, and that's to actually move it and see what happens. Other than that, there's no explanation unless somebody hit it out there and moved it. Well, let me see if it's still properly aligned. That's funny, Tom. I read the text. Let's see. What am I looking for here? There we go. Alignment. Nope, still aligned good. Perfect alignment, so it's not that. It's probably more than likely. I bet you it's OBS. If I were a betting man, that's what I would think. That's funny. Of course, I got more spam going on here. I hate spam. I really hate text messages that I don't want. And I block and report them. Then I delete them. They just find a new number to send them to me through. Ridiculous. And they're all begging for money. It's mostly political shit. And I ain't giving no money to politicians. They already got more money than I'll ever have. Why in the hell would I donate money to them? Let's see. Tom says, Jim, you may need to put a camera out by the dish. You know, I thought about that because I've got my my blink camera out here. Well, I have it in here at the moment, but I have a mount on the outside of the shed that actually looks right toward the thing there. Yeah, see, the print's over, so I'm going to shut it down. It's off now, so we'll see if it makes a difference. I mean, if I don't have any more problems, I think we can pretty well safely say that that had something to do with it. Hey, Ray Gigliotti, how you doing? What, did you just now get here? I thought you were here already. You want to see what I made you? Or what I made, and then I'm going to give you the STLs for it? I'll wait for a response. Yeah, because none of my other security cameras actually see out that far. And I got to trim some branches on the tree out there too because it's hanging low. It's nowhere near the dish, but it obstructs my vision of the dish. So, you know. Alright, well, I already did this once, but we'll do it again. This is what I got. It looks like it should probably work. Now what I did was, this all comes apart. You're going to be printing this in 3 pieces when I send you the STL. So, the first file you sent me, the one you didn't like, that you said was close but not, the base part, this here, which would have been very difficult to design, was perfect, so I utilized it. And then, of course, I needed a housing for the insert, so I made it, and it just slips right in. And you'd probably want to glue that to make it permanent. And then this part here, which is supposed to catch the knob, and it's not real loose, but it's not real tight either. I think it'll be fine. But it should work for you. I'm going to send you the STLs probably tomorrow sometime. And it should be right. I mean, I wish I had your controller here because then I could actually make sure it's right. So if it's not right, we're going to have to make final adjustments. Not a big deal. But, you know, print it up and see how it works. and hopefully everything is right. I mean, I kind of based it on the picture you sent me with the broken one, which was similar to that one there. I was able to get the size on the screen to match the dimensions you gave me, which helped tremendously in sizing everything and hopefully putting things in the right position. Hey Edward, how you doing? Happy Valley Hobbies. So, I hope it works for you. If it does, let me know. I do plan on marketing it at a little bit less of a price than what they want. They wanted what, $40 for that one? That was shit. That kept breaking. I know why it broke, because they didn't print it right. This won't break. I mean, it shouldn't anyway. So, if it works out good for you, let me know. And yes, I will be selling them. Probably sell them for $20 each. I can make a little bit of money with it. So, and you're quite welcome, Ray. No biggie. I thought it would take longer to do. I basically had 3 days in it, which, you know, was actually better than I thought. I thought it would take longer, but, you know. Derek, that's for PS2, PlayStation 2. They have a golf game, I guess, and in order to get the angle of the club right, that's what that does. It fits on the right-hand side of the controller and grabs the knob, the control knob on the controller, and you can rotate the knob to change the angle of the golf club, I think, anyway. So, apparently, nobody really makes one. They had one on eBay or somewhere on the internet, but it sucks. It breaks as soon as you put it on. So, Ray asked me if I could design something that actually might work, so I did. We'll see how it goes. So, you know. I said I could design most things as long as it would have been nice. I said, I wish I had the controller here. Then I would have got it 100% perfect. But he gave me enough dimensions and pictures and illustrations, so I think I got it right. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten better at designing things. And, you know, because I've designed so many things for myself already. I don't generally screw around with PlayStations or anything like that, but, you know, I'll try anything once, you know. Twice if I like it. Yeah, technically it could, Derek. I mean, I don't golf much, but I've played real golf a few times. You know, I worked on a golf course. I was an equipment manager, you know, mechanic, and they encouraged us to go out and play on the course. And I suck. You know, when I get on the I can't remember the terminology anymore. You know, where you start playing on the, you know, thing there. I slice bad. I mean, ridiculously bad. If I could get to the green, which is not easy, I'm actually pretty good at putting. But driving, screw that. And I mean, I played a little bit, but I said, not going to do it. Not my game. So, I assume I've never played it on. I don't even have a PlayStation, but or any of those game platforms. But you know, I'm surprised they don't make one for it. You know, because like, well, Deb has what the hell was it? It's not PlayStation. It's the other one. It's real popular. And they have all kinds of gadgets for specific games. Like they have she has got a dance game on there. It teaches you to dance. And they have a thing that you put on the floor that, you know, it's electronic, that helps guide your steps to teach you how to dance. Shooting games, they got a pistol that you slide your controller into. I mean, they got all kinds of crap like that for that particular game. I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, I'm surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised PlayStation doesn't make something like that for their games. Yeah, what do I know, right? Tom Gray said, Jim, I played in a golf league. Oh, lucky you. Anything I ever played, I was in a bowling league many, many years ago. And I did fair. I wasn't great, but I did all right. I think my average score was about 150, 160. I could never get past it. There was no way. I never bowled the perfect 200 or 300. Just couldn't do it, you know. But we did all right, though. We didn't win any trophies, but hey, we had fun. And like I said, golf is definitely not my game. I went and played out with the guys. We got free passes to the local golf course in North Naples. So me and three of my friends, we even got a free golf cart. Well, 2 free golf carts. And of course, we had a cooler full of beer, you know. And beer and golf does not go well together. 18 holes took us about 5 hours. We were pissing off everybody. It got so bad that the course manager came out and said, look, if people want to play through, you got to let them. Because they're getting mad because, you're taking too long to play each hole. All right, fine, whatever. Because, we were like, fuck you, wait your turn, These fuckers, they get so serious with the game, though, that, they don't like any interruptions or delays or any of that shit. Well, yeah, still had fun, though. Yeah, Wayne, he got his golf cart stuck in a sand trap. Took all 4 of us to get it out. These aren't off-road vehicles, He was pretty hammered, though. Hell, we were all pretty hammered, actually. Well, you do putt around. Yeah, right? There you go. James, the trains. Yeah, well, we covered some of the trains already. James said 5-pin bowling. I never played 5-pin bowling. I've heard of it. Derek says, I can bowl a perfect 200, 300, no way. Yeah, I think the best I ever got was like 180 or 185, something like that. It was not bad. I mean, see, I threw a dead straight ball. I couldn't throw a curve. A lot of the guys throw a curve, so they're right-handed. I'm left-handed. And I tried to throw a curve and just couldn't do it, so I just figured, I'll stick with what I know. I'd find my spot on the lane, and boom, if I was in the right place, you could stay in the right place. Yeah, I did well, maybe 6 out of 10 shots might have been a strike, but like I said, I didn't do too bad. James says, I need 6 subscribers to reach 1,200. Well, shit, man, you're doing pretty good, James. Must be nice. Let's go. You surpassed 500. Yeah, I'm at 515 right now. But I don't have the watch hours to get monetized, which I don't care, but last I looked, I had 2,160 hours, and you need 3,000. So, and it doesn't seem to be picking up any for some reason. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Tom says, Jim, when I was a kid, I was a caddy at private golf club. One day, the guy I was caddying hit a hole-in-one. It was an amazing shot, I'll bet. We had a couple guys hit holes in ones on the golf course where I worked, but it was rare, And like I said, sometimes I'd go out there and watch them because I didn't have a lot to do anyway. I said as a manager, my position was kind of a cake job, I did all the paperwork and all that shit. I had 2 mechanics under me that did most of the, the grunt work. So I had a lot of time to kill and fuck around or whatever, but I just couldn't get into the game, though. I mean, it's just, between bowling and golf, I'd pick bowling every time. I can't bowl anymore because I can't do the walk up to the lane. I'd kill myself probably. If I could stand at the edge and just throw the ball, that would work. But I don't think it would be any good. I'd have to use a lighter ball too, because generally I think I used a 15-pounder. If I remember correctly. I even bought my own at one point. Because I've been bowling since I was a little kid. We used to go up the lanes up in Jersey, Carteret, and back then it was like 25 cents a game. you know, or 50 cents a game, and the shoes were a dime to rent them, you know. It's really cheap. But, Edward says, I don't think you can find more new subscribers here. James, we might be already. Yeah, pretty much we're already subscribed. Unless you get some newbies that find you, you know. And it just depends upon how interesting they think your channel is, you know, or each particular video or live stream. So I'm not even worried about it. I don't care, you know. I broke 500. I'm happy. You know, how many years did it take to do that? It'll probably take twice as many years to hit 1,000. And the thing is, you know, that's the thing that kills me. Now, YouTube, they make you fly through before you get monetized. I do my Wise Guy videos, which I've talked about before. That's on Rumble because they would never allow me to do that on YouTube, you know, because it's too controversial and whatever. Every video I put in there is monetized automatically. I ain't making any money because I don't have enough followers, but you know, but that's the way it should be. Where if you're creating something, putting something out there, whether it be a video or a live, you should automatically be monetized. But YouTube doesn't play that shit, and I think they purposely fuck you out of stuff anyway, just so they don't have to pay you, you know. Tom says, does not matter. ScrewTube takes away subs, views, like comments. So, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're cheating, you know. And some guys get a ton of subs or a ton of views, and other guys don't. I don't get it, you know. You'd think it'd be easier to cheat people out of stuff if they were really, you know, big time. If you had 20,000 subs and 10,000 viewing hours, it'd be a lot easier to screw them. They probably wouldn't notice. But little guys like us, I mean, come on, really, you know. Hell. James says, Thomas Grassy, yes, sir, they turned the tap off. Yeah, I believe they do. You know, it just seems like it. The hell do I know? So I told you I finished the my switcher. I kind of lied because through my haste to get it done, I still got to do the decals on the side yet. But I forgot to put the keep alive in there. I mean, it runs, but it's very, you know, inconsistent. So I've got to put the keep alive in there. I already have one. This is one of those TCS Keep Alives, the KA2. Now there's no sound on that decoder, just a motor decoder. So that should be more than sufficient to let it run probably 5 or 10 seconds. At some point I got to take it back apart, wire that, the Keep Alive in there, and excuse me, we'll be good to go. I haven't touched the steamer yet either. That's kind of on hold. I thought I'd have the money to buy a decoder this month, but I think I'm going to have to wait till next month because I'm spending way too much money. So I'll have extra money next month, so I'll buy a decoder for that because that's going to be $112. And I'll probably have to get a good speaker to go with it because that's going to have sound and, you know, DCC plus sound. So I'll just wait till next month and then wrap that up. And I haven't put the motor man in yet either. I got to get on that. I got a ton of stuff to do, and I'm trying to prioritize certain things first. Like I want to get my trains running first before I do anything, and that relies on this drop arm getting finished. And I've got to add a piece of track down on the far left side over there, which is about a piece about that long. No big deal. Yes, I didn't use it on that, but when I bought the P42, the I messed up the pins on the motherboard and that, so I went ahead and I bought a decoder buddy and wired that in, and then put the 21 pin decoder on it. Worked great. So yes, the decoder buddy works good. I didn't really have enough room in the switcher for it. So what I got was one of those ones that, it's a real tiny thing. So it's just a motor decoder. And it's wrapped with heat shrink. Real tiny. Fits in there with no problem. He said I could have went with sound, but I think I might have had issues on where to put a speaker. I mean, there's literally no room in that thing. So that's why I just went with a motor controller. If you should be up on the second level doing, switching operations. So not a big deal. And I plan on getting maybe another one or two of those to match up with it as well. We'll see. Hello, Grap Amazon just arrived. Cool. Gerald Stewart. Hey, Gerald, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. Santa Claus. Tom Grassi, have seen the new decoder buddy board for scale trains. Oh, they do make one for it now? That's cool. Or no, wait, but they had to make them because the motherboards in the scale trains won't work even with a Tsunami 2 decoder. That's why I said I've got a couple of scale trains I want to convert over to Tsunami 2s. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I will most definitely be using a buddy board decoder, or decoder buddy, to actually facilitate that. Derek says 2513. All right, somebody's not hitting that like button again. Come on, guys. We got to go through this every week. Hit the damn like button already. Just because. It's there. It's like that button you're not supposed to touch, but you do anyway. Pretend it's a button you're not supposed to touch and, go ahead and press it. So yeah, that's on, like I said, the steam engine's on hold for a bit till next month. The switcher, I'll get that corrected probably next week. But right now my priority is getting trains running. That means I got to finish this drop arm, and it's looking pretty good. I don't know if I'll show it again just for fun. There we go. Like I said, I've got a clamp in there now because I super glued the track because it's right on the wood. There's no shit, can't think of the name right now. Anyway, it was easier to do it that way and easier to get everything set up, so no road bed there. It's such a small strip, I'm not worried about it. So once I'll let it set overnight, pull the clamp off. I'll probably wire it tomorrow because I've got the wire. You can see the red wire sticking and the black wire sticking over there. Right over there. And I've got the other track I got to do, so I'll solder the wires in, and of course I got the other end of the wires underneath the bench. I got to tie those in yet to the bus line, and we'll be good to go. So, like I said, the thing's kind of, like I said, a big mess right now. There's shit everywhere. But, it is what it is. Yeah, James says soundtracks will plug and play around. Oh, so they're coming with a decoder, buddy? Already installed? Is that what you're saying? That would be nice. Of course, I don't plan on buying any new locos from them, but that's a good idea though, because basically they were only set up for ESU. This Nick makes a like. Yeah, he does. Well done shoehorning my car into the garage, stacking cedar down. Now it's shower time. Y'all have a great night. All right, Kilroy, thanks for popping in, man. Enjoy your shower. Have a fun and safe weekend. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Let me switch back to the other camera. We go. So yeah, like I said, it's just, yeah, like I said, I've only got so many hours in a day to spend out here. It's not a lot, because, you know, I do have a life outside of here. And, actually, I've been busy with doctor's appointments and, you know, just general bullshit that I have to deal with. And I still got to drain the gas out of my Ford Ranger because the gas went bad in it. It's so bad that the truck literally won't run on it. Not very well. So I need, it's about 13 gallons in the tank. It's nearly full. Yeah, so I got to drain that out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I ain't working on lawnmowers. I don't know. But I put new gas in there. I'll probably put some high test in there. Now, hopefully gas prices come down a little bit. They're supposed to, because, you know, according to President Trump, the war in Iran is over. We won. That's it. We're done with it. I find it hard to believe, but if he's right, that's a good thing. Hopefully we should see oil prices stabilizing and gas coming down in price. Hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. James says, don't matter to me. I would be happy with DCC only, no sound. Oh, the sound is kind of cool, but, you know, like a lot of guys say, you know, if you have like more than 4 sound locos on your layout running simultaneously, it's going to get a little loud. And I usually shut my sound off when I'm running them, you know. I mean, if I'm here alone and I'm bored, I'll run the sound, but in a lot of cases I just turn the sound off because it gets loud, you know. And I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, got 4 engines running simultaneously. That's a lot of noise, you know, and like I said, they all have sound cards in them, so, you know, still kind of cool though. I mean, it gives an added realism to it, you know. Gerald says it was $2.19 a gallon, and that's pretty good. I haven't been in town. Well, I was in 2 days ago, and it was $3.47. I thought, well, ain't that a bunch of shit? Thank God I filled up before I, you know, that got that expensive. I filled up, it was $2.85. So that's about the lowest you'll find here. Where the hell did it go? I use a Gas Buddy card. They have the app on the phone. You can check prices, you know, they're real-time prices. It'd be nice if it came back down that quick. Nah, it still looks like it's pretty high. At 366, 368, 362. Now it's still high here. It's like the highest in Sebring is $3.86 for regular. That's ridiculous. Even in Murphy's, where I go, which is generally the lowest, right now it's at 364. Now, he said I bought it last week, or sometime then, right before the war was declared. I paid $2.85 a gallon. So I'm sure it'll come back down. I don't know. Hopefully, just have to wait and see, I guess. I mean, well, you're in Texas. Yeah, you're in Texas, Gerald, so maybe it's a little cheaper down there. Oh, $3.19, okay. Yeah, I would say $2.19 would be nice. $3.19's not terrible. Not good, though, either. James says, I paid $1.42 for a liter. So that's about, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right around $6 a gallon. That shit's expensive, man. Chuck says, I paid $3.19 a gallon at HEB in Bull Verde. Ed said he paid $3.53. James says approximately $4.19 a gallon USD. Okay. So that's a lot of fucking money. Well, I know it's over $6 in California, I believe. Of course, they were bending people. It's all taxes over there, I think. Oh, well, Gerald. That sounds more like it. It's supposed to come back down. Now, the good news is, I don't know if you guys read or not, but, and I've been saying, I swear either he watches my videos or we just think alike, you know, me and Trump, but I've been saying for a while now, the smartest thing he can do is do by executive order, get some refineries built, you know, bypassing all the bullshit regulations. Right now, it literally takes 5 years of red tape to build a refinery, and one hasn't been built, I think they said 30 years or more, 50 years maybe. So a new one's being built in Texas, which is about fucking time. He needs to build 3 or 4 more, because we can't really refine any of our crude. I mean, I think there's still a refinery in Jersey, because there used to be one on right off the Jersey Turnpike, just north of Carteret. But I don't know if it's still there or operational or not. I think that's like the only one left in the country. So we need more of them, because basically we take our oil, we ship it to the fucking enemy. Oh, the rag, it's raining out there. Uh-oh. We ship it to the enemy. They refine it, turn it into gas, and sell it back to us at probably twice the price. It's bullshit. We don't need their fucking oil. We got our own oil, but we need the refineries. So I kept saying, you know, well, Trump's quit fucking around, do an executive order, one that's worthwhile, and get some of these refineries built with no bullshit, you know. So he's actually doing it, at least with the one in Texas. I think they said within 6 months it'll be finished and operational, which is all it should take anyway to build a refinery. So we'll see. 353 in Vermont. Let's see, $2 a gallon at the end of November. Yeah, some places got cheap. I said I think the cheapest we saw there was like $2.40. That was at Murphy's, so yeah. But it's been 50. All right, it's 50. I knew it was so much a long time. Like I said, we should have been building them a long time ago, but the red tape and the expense prohibited building new ones. The largest refinery ever in the country, maybe the one they're building now, good. It needs to be the biggest. You know, we have so much fucking oil in America, and there's no reason why we're screwing around with OPEC or anybody else, you know. And realistically, if we exported some of the fuel we made, you know, refined gasoline, we could lower the price. You know, in Saudi Arabia, gas is 5 cents a gallon. I would settle for 25 cents a gallon. Yeah, it hasn't been 25 cents a gallon since what, 1966, 68, somewhere around there. But yeah, there's no reason for it to be as expensive as it is. It's a 2030 opening. It has been under construction for 10 years. It's in Brownsville, Texas. Okay, so they sounded like it was something brand new, but maybe they just didn't do anything with it for forever. Like I said, the red tape involved with it's a joke. You know, you need it, build it. Fuck the regulations. Just build the damn thing and be done with it. And we need to build a few more. We should have one at every corner of the country. One north, one south, one east, and one west. Maybe one in the middle, just for shits and giggles. You know? Without it, you're not going to get anywhere. So, that's what I'm saying, you know. According to Trump, gas is going to start coming down in price real soon, so we'll see. Of course, you don't know what the hell's the truth anymore going on out there anyway, you know. You turn on one channel, it says, you know, Iran refuses to back down. The other channel said they basically are negotiating an unconditional surrender. Somebody's lying, you just don't know who, you know. It's ridiculous. So, we'll have to just wait and see, but that's rough for anybody that wants to travel, man, you know. I remember when it hit, well, it was what, it was $4.50 a gallon, I think. Remember back a few years ago when everything went to hell? I did, yeah, because that was back around 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, because my dad was still alive, because I was carting him around everywhere because he couldn't drive anymore, and every time I filled a tank, it was like, it would be anywhere from $90 to $110 to fill the tank. That's an 18-gallon tank. That's fucking crazy, you know. I saw a YouTube video about it yesterday. That's cool. Edward said, I remember having to double the price because the gas pump only went to 99 cents. I was nowhere old enough to drive. Well, like I said, I started driving when I was 12 years old. And I drove my dad's Econoline van, you know. And Naples was small at the time, and they really, unless you did something stupid, they wouldn't bother you. So I drove all over the place with it, you know. And that's what I learned on it. 3-speed on the column, 6-cylinder manual transmission. But like I said, gas was about 25 cents a gallon, I think, at that time. It cost a few dollars to fill the tank, and you know, you're good for a week. Trump is trying to help out to get it going sooner. Yeah, hopefully. A lot of people were pissed off out of my. You know, I'm going to withhold judgment from him. Let's see how this goes down. You know, if the war doesn't escalate or turn into a, you know, never-ending war, I say, all right, maybe he knows what he's doing. I still don't like the idea that we're supporting Israel. If this is Israel's problem, they need to deal with it on their own. But like I said, if Trump had a plan there, and it seems like he might, we're all going to come out ahead for it anyway. So they named the son and then put up a cardboard cutout of him. They think he might be very injured from when they killed his father, mother, and sister. Who? Anthony says, same here, Jim, pick up with 3-speed on the column. There you go. Those were fun vehicles to drive, you know. Yeah, I started because my dad, he says, I want you to move the truck from where it was in the secondary driveway into the primary driveway. I said, all right, I'm not sure I know how to do it. He said, it's easy. He watched me drive it how many times? Yeah, so it took me a second, but I figured it out, you know, and managed to get the truck over to the other driveway, and next thing you know, I'm, you know, hey, Dad, can I borrow the truck? Be careful with it. You know, I went all over town with it, you know, I never had any problems. So, it was fun. Carol said, here's the video. Okay, well, thanks for that link. Oh, you're talking about the new Khomeini. Yeah, I saw that. They don't know where he is. He might be dead already. People are worshipping a picture, a cardboard cutout of him. Yeah, it's funny as shit. Yeah, they think he might be very injured from when they killed his father, mother, and sister. He's screwed up. They're going to kill him no matter where he does. As soon as he pops his head up, they're going to take it off, you know. And they're basically going to kill every Khomeini that comes up. You know, they just take the name Khomeini because they're Shiites, and they have to be, they're like the Pope. They pick certain people to be the Pope. Well, the same thing, they pick certain people to be the head cleric or whatever the fuck they call him, supreme leader. That right there should tell you it's not going to be good because you call yourself a supreme leader, you just know you're on the evil side. So 3 minutes on Fox News, okay. So but I mean, like I said, I was kind of upset at first. I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing, getting us in a war? Especially with Iran. But the thing with Trump is, and I got to give him credit, and I would have done it the same way. You go in there with everything you got and literally obliterate them, And that's what he did. They sunk their entire fucking Navy, Then we fucking down 75% of their fighter aircraft. We blew a submarine of theirs out of the water. I mean, literally, and then screwed up the infrastructure for the military. Literally decimated their military. And I'm pretty sure about that point they were thinking, you know what? We're losing our ass here. We better quit while we still can. And of course, them killing the supreme leader, and then then they're going to kill the next one too. They'll kill as many of them that come up. So, you can pick as many supreme leaders as you want. They're all going to die. Ed says, I learned on automatic, but own mostly standards. There you go. Gerald says he always has a plan. I've always said that. I kind of feel bad for doubting him. But, like I said, sometimes things don't always look the way or things look different than what they are. So, a lot of people turned on him right after, he attacked Iran. Half the Republican Party turned on him. And I'm thinking, well, shit, even Tucker Carlson fucking got on his shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I understand to a point. But they forget that, he's got a plan. He's a smart motherfucker, man. You wouldn't think so by looking at him, but he might even be a military genius. Who the hell knows? But see, the difference between him and other presidents is, instead of going in there and pussyfooting around, he said, look, we're going to go in there. We're going to take them out. We're not fucking around. We're not going to bomb the shit out of everybody except for their leader. We're going to go for him first, then we'll take out the rest. I always said, why don't they take out the leader first anyway? It's like cutting the head off a snake. Until you cut the head off of the snake, you're going to have problems. They never kill leaders because, there's some unwritten rule about that. Well, you can't kill leaders. You got to kill all the soldiers instead. Bullshit. You're either going to win the war or don't bother fighting it. And I'm not pro-war by any stretch. I mean, I'm heavily against war, but if you're going to do it well, That's true, Gerald. China is on its knees. They're shitting themselves right now. Matter of fact, I saw a broadcast where a Chinese diplomat was begging Iran to back down and just surrender peacefully and, so we can get past this horse shit. And I'll tell you what, China's been supporting Iran forever, and I understand they're not going to be doing that anymore because, basically, Iran is a dead horse. So if they're smart, to listen to this Chinese guy and cease hostilities because, you know what? That death to America shit just ain't getting it. That's true, Gerald. Trump is a New Yorker to the bone. You're right. And I'll tell you what, New Yorkers, they don't fuck around, man. I've known enough of them in my life to realize that, So, like I said, it just sucks, though, because, unfortunately, we the people always pay for shit for even a little time there, The higher gas prices really does not help. But if they come back down, I won't be bitching. So we'll see how that goes. Because, and there's so much shit going on now, it's not even funny. I mean, everybody's pissing and moaning about something. It's like, people, get over it already, you know. I mean, the car companies, I'm laughing at them. Ford just did another recall, 144,000, I think, something like that. Now they have a problem with the glare of the headlights and some other, oh yeah, stalling problem. Can they build anything that actually works? I mean, Ford used to be pretty good, you know. I own one. It's not a bad car. But here lately, it's like they just can't turn out anything that isn't a big pile of shit, you know. And they announced that the F-350 is now going for over $100,000. They're trying to make their money back on the F-150 Lightning, you know, the electric pickup, because they lost $1 billion on that. It's like, well, that's your own stupidity. Do you really think people are going to pay $100,000 for a 1-ton pickup truck? Are you stupid? I mean, what the hell, you know? That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. You know, and the big three, actually almost all the ones, lost their asses on the whole electric car thing. And if they'd have been smart, I mean, I'll tell you what I would have done. You know, let's say if I was in charge of Ford or Chevy or whatever, doesn't matter, GM. I would have said, you know what, let's wait and see what the other guys do. If it takes off, then we'll jump into the fray. But if it don't, we'll be ahead of the game. But instead, all of them, you know, the big three, Stellantis, GM, and Ford, and a few foreigners, and oh, we're going to go ahead and we're going to build electric cars because that's what people want. No, they don't. And they're losing billions over it. Ford just shut down their that's their plant. I think it's in Tennessee. It's the EV plant for the F-150 Lightning. $5.8 billion plant. Done. You know, how stupid can you be? If these are the people running these companies, they need to go back to school and learn how to do business because they don't know what they're doing. I said, not the way I would. I'd wait and see. See what the other guys do. Then we'll jump in there and see if we can beat them. I bought the best 20-ounce SS Thermo tumbler with lid at Harbor Freight for $5 a day. I love it. Oh, 20 ounce. Okay. Oh, cool. $5, good price. Anthony says Russia and China pooping their pants because our new electronic warfare system shut down the Iranian SAM sites with all their newest stuff. I didn't know about that. Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing, you know. I mean, we really haven't been sitting on our asses doing nothing all this time. They have been coming out with new and better warfare equipment or anti-warfare equipment. So I'm not surprised. But, you know, like you said, that I guess the school got hit with a Tomahawk missile. They're trying to blame us for it. Trump says it was probably the Iranians blowing up their own people because, you know, make it look like we did it. I don't know, and I don't particularly care. That's the price of war, you know. It sucks, yeah, but, you know, when you have war, people will die. Some will be innocent, some of them will be soldiers. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, that's just, like you said, that's the price you pay for war, but of course, all the Democrats here, you know, oh, Trump's an asshole. He's a Hitler. He's doing the same thing Hitler did. He's blowing up civilian targets. Fuck you. We ought to round up all them fucking Democrats and shove them on a boat and send them out someplace, like maybe North Korea. You know, if you hate America, you shouldn't be allowed to stay here. That's all there is to it. Simple question. Do you hate America? If you say yes, you're out. And we'll know the truth, so don't try lying about it. You know. Something has to change. I don't know. But anyway, enough about politics. Let's go back into trains. Hey, Musty Modeler, how you doing? Good to see you here, man. You missed all the fun stuff already. So, yeah, I've got a bunch of boxcar shells that I gotta finish the chassis on. Like I said, I've got to put, like all these here, I've got to drill out the holes for the trucks and put the coupler draft gear boxes on them. I've got at least 3. I think there's a 4th one I need to do. And I've got a whole bunch of rail cars in a drawer. Some of them are intact, some of them aren't. I need to go through and figure out what's what. Repair what I can and probably shit can the rest. And right now I've got a ton of rolling stock, a lot more than I could probably ever use or need. That's okay though, you know. Never have enough trains, right? Ugh. But so I want to get on that too at some point. Like I said, I want to start tying up a lot of loose ends in here, you know, getting things straightened out. And I can get on the more important things later on, like maybe decoder swaps and who knows what else. But you know, I've got a lot to do in here. Don't think for a minute I'm anywhere near, you know, any kind of completion, because it just ain't happening. So. And what else is going on here? Let's see. I said the place is a royal mess right now. But you know, you're going to make a mess if you want to get anything accomplished. So that's the way it goes. I said I had my desk cleaned off last week. And it's, well, it's a major mess. I think the overhead camera still works. It's kind of sketchy, but that's my desk, and it's just cluttered with all kinds of crap. You know, it is what it is, but I gotta get something to tighten up that mount on that, because it doesn't stay where I want it to half the time. All right, Ed. Well, I hope you get better soon, man. Thanks for popping in, and get well, and have a fun and safe weekend. And we'll see you next week. Jim, the double pole, double throw rocker switch, did it? Okay, I had a feeling it would. I think you were getting residual voltage from the other rail. And it would affect an LED, because LEDs are sensitive, but it wouldn't do anything else. So that's why I said it kind of made sense to me. Israel and the U.S. Navy both used their new defensive 100 kilowatt laser systems in the last couple of days. First time ever in combat. Yeah, I knew we had them. Supposed to be real good at knocking ballistic missiles out of the air. So, you know, hey. Bound to happen, right? No problem, Ed. Like I said, go back, you know, hit the bed and relax, rest, get better. Because nobody likes being sick. So, let's see what, oh man, sitting on my ass too long today. See, it's almost 7:30. We might call it an early night tonight just for fun, you know, because I've covered about everything I wanted to talk about. Shown off everything I wanted to show. And honestly, I don't know how bad it's. Let me take a peek out the door and see how much it's raining out there. I can hear it. a downpour with a pretty steady drizzle. Probably won't get much rain, but a little bit. Actually, we weren't even supposed to get any until Monday. Well, that's the way it always works with the weather report, and they're never right anyway. Yeah, I'm back in the yellow again. Now I'm back in the red. Something's going on there. I don't know what it is. Now we're back in the green. I'm gonna, like I said, I think I'm going to experiment with older versions of OBS throughout the week, and I'll probably go on a few times as a test and see if I can get to the bottom of this. Now it's back in the green again. It's like going back and forth. It's weird. Like I said, I've checked the speed on the Starlink. It's good. So I'm relatively sure it's not Starlink that's causing any problems. Which brings us back to OBS. Alright guys, well it's almost 7:30, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We'll do a short one tonight, and we'll see you again next week. Like I said, I might go live a few times throughout the week, testing the other versions of OBS until I get something that's concrete. Until then, guys, have a fun and safe weekend. Remember to play with your trains. Thanks for showing up. And, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which, leaves you wide open. Alright, here's the outro. We'll see you guys later.